Hello, Intactivists! In the news this week, we have Unaltered America, Foregen, Bloodstained Men, Unaltered, Nocirc Michigan, GALDEF, and much more coming up. In POTS news, we have just signed 2 contracts. One was with Intact Nigeria for a $300 ad contract. They are going to go ahead and support POTS and spread us. And another $300 contract was made with Unaltered for a Mautic and postal service on top of them advertising with us. This, once again, gets POTS to go spread further and push our message out to other Intactivists so they can go ahead and have a centralized location to go and get their news, to go see what's going on, and also, hopefully, we can go ahead and fund Intactivism through other businesses that are not Intactivists. So that way we're not taking money away from the movement, we're actually having money come into the movement. But speaking of money, since this is the first Tuesday of the week, if you guys are able and comfortable with donating to POTS and you like what we do here, please feel free to donate. It does help us keep going, and of course, you will get all of the perks and exclusive access that our PAN supporters get. For instance, we did release an exclusive interview for the PANs, and we just released the donor report yesterday. So if you are donating or tipping to POTS, you are more than welcome to go ahead and check that out. It is on our Ko-fi currently. Also, our Carbuzz is funding our new website that we have planned. Currently, we are at $17.58 out of our $300 goal, which I know that does not sound like a lot, but we're at 5% of our goal. It's very passive, and we're just going to go slow. And that's okay to go slow. And we're just going to go ahead and, take our time, not rush. We got plenty of time. We got to do this 19 more times. And hopefully we get more contributors because we are growing at a pretty fast rate. Our subscribers definitely shot up there. So if you're brand new here and you do want to go help through Carbuzz, you can definitely go ahead and go to the link. All you have to do is get the Windows app and you click this initiative code, or you copy the initiative code and you put it in the app, and then you just keep the app running and it will donate, and the app is silent, runs in the background, and it helps POTS. Essentially, all what it does is shares your data with other companies, and POTS gets a commission. And if you're uncomfortable with that, I totally get that, which is also why we have the e-commerce program. The e-commerce program, you can go ahead and check it out on our Discord to learn more, because it doesn't cost you any extra money and it really does help our channel grow. It's free to do. Also, if you do use the e-commerce program enough, you can get a new Discord role in our server. All right, so enough about POTS. In Unaltered news, Unaltered last week went ahead and messaged Medline, and they were aiming to remove all this in blue of what it said about the AAP recommendation on circumcision. So if you go ahead to the website now of Medline Plus, this is indeed an official website of the U.S. government right up here. If you guys can see that. Look, there is no AAP recommendation. So good job for Unaltered for getting rid of that. That is awesome.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Also in Unaltered news, Ladori gave Daniel Rold, the leader of NLI, a cease and desist letter. The leader of Next Level Intactivism must not have gotten that message, or just straight up ignored it, because they are continuing to make videos on their social media, such as YouTube and TikTok, allegedly defaming and slandering Ladori still. So will this come back to bite Daniel Rold and Next Level Intactivism? Only time will tell. So stay tuned on this developing story. In Unaltered America news, Unaltered America, everything you've ever wanted to know about circumcision but were afraid to ask. This is at a library, so essentially the Unaltered America book tour is still going. If you want to go ahead and meet Georgianne in Memphis, Tennessee, you definitely can. It's at Wednesday, July 10th 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., so it's only an hour and a half. It's at Benjamin L. Hooks Central Library. I don't know how many people are going to go to this, but it's going to be interesting. It does say she will also read from her new book, The Penis Business, and from Marilyn Milo's companion book, Please Don't Cut the Baby. So this is indeed a book showing. It also says everyone who attends will receive a free copy of Skin in the Game, Circumcision Cuts Through Us All. So I guess they have 3 books. And I guess Skin in the Game, Circumcision Cuts Through Us All, that was an initiative where people gave their stories about how circumcision affected them. And then down here it talks about Georgianne Chapin and what Georgianne Chapin does. All right, and in Bloodstained Men news. So the Ohio and West Virginia circumcision crisis protest is coming to an end. They have one more day left, and that is going to be in Mayfield Heights, Ohio, right down here, until 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., so it's going to last 4 hours, and that's it. Also, you can go ahead and check out Bloodstained Men on their Facebook, and look at this crowd. I count 12 people in here in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, so definitely quite the crowd that showed up. All right, and in Cockfight news, Cockfight is out in Wichita, Kansas right now, and as you see that this is definitely done. This ended 2 days ago, June 30th, but 9 people went, so that is awesome. So they had about a little less than the Bloodstained Men because they had about 12. Cockfight had 9, so that's pretty awesome that Cockfight had so many people go to Wichita, Kansas. There are no pictures on the Cockfight's Facebook just yet. All right, and in GALDEF news, it says Ricky Martin loves GALDEF, or so it would seem. This blog was released pretty recently. It says GALDEF kicked off a 6-month promotional campaign with a 1/4 page ad in Southern California's The Fight magazine. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you guys. You guys can definitely go and read it. It's super short. It's really weird because when you do read this, it's Ricky Martin doesn't necessarily support GALDEF. It just seems that way, as you can see. Speaking of sex symbols, who better to place adjacent to our ad than the Latin sex symbol Ricky Martin? In his ad promoting his June 8th concert at LA Pride in the park, Martin appears to be looking directly at GALDEF ad and celebrating our message. So these are 2 different ads, but they're just saying that it looks like Ricky Martin loves GALDEF. So these 2 have nothing to do with each other per se. GALDEF's ad appears on page 19, just after the centerfold, and it explains, we assist plaintiffs and their attorneys in the fight for children's bodily autonomy to let them decide how much of their genitals they get to keep. The ad campaign is designed to educate as well as attract more supporters and donors. I thought they were looking for plaintiffs, but okay. It says The Fight is a popular online zine that also produces 25,000 physical copies monthly and boasts a readership of over 100,000. In the heavily populated triangle stretch from Los Angeles to San Diego to Palm Springs. So essentially, these guys are on one page, a quarter page of this magazine. Yeah, and once again, if you guys want to read all this, you definitely can. Just go to the GALDEF blog. And another GALDEF fundraiser. There are 2 movies. They're going to do a double feature Saturday, August 3rd, examining 2 groups of medical conscientious objectors to male newborn circumcision. And one is an 18-minute 1994 film, and the other is Facing Circumcision, 8 Physicians Tell Their Stories, 20 minutes. And then after, they're probably going to go ahead and talk about the films This is a fundraiser, so you're going to have to buy your tickets. The tickets are about $25 plus tax. If you click here, yep, your e-ticket is $25 plus $1.65 fee. So it's a little over 25 bucks if you want to go ahead and get the general admission. So there will be a webinar link that will be provided on the day of the event. So they're probably just going to email it to you. So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and support GALDEF and watch these 1990s film, you guys can go ahead and do so, because GALDEF needs more funding. Yes. All right, and in Nocirc Michigan news, Nocirc Michigan very recently just went to the Big Rapid Pride Festival, Sunday, June 30th. You can see pictures on their Facebook. This is them at their booth. Look at that. Crushing it. Right here, this is where they were at like yesterday. So yeah, that's awesome for Nocirc Michigan. And in Foregen news, I know everybody loves the Foregen news. All right, so this zero fee payment processor makes sure 100% of your donation reaches Foregen. So donations used to cost you a fee or whatever. Coffee does not take any of your fees out when you pay for pots, just so you know. So we use Coffee. It's a zero fee payment, just like Zeffy is. But this whole thing says, hey, these are the steps to go ahead and fund Foregen and give, $25 and actually have it be $25 when it reaches Foregen. Because typically when you go ahead and you put $25 in, the GoFundMe's or whatever PayPal will take a percentage, like let's say 2.5% plus 30 cents or whatever it is. But Zeffy, if you are doing your donations through Foregen on their website, you can go ahead and switch to Zeffy and it won't take any money out. You just have to follow these steps once again. So that's awesome. That just helps Foregen get a little bit more funding, probably about an extra 2.5 to 3% extra, which really adds up because Foregen, they get about $250,000-ish a year. So 3% of that is an extra $7,500. Really quick math. So that's almost $10K extra in Foregen donations by just switching to Zeffy. Also in Foregen news, the Beatrix Clinical Project Manager, the intro is up on Foregen. You can go ahead and read this if you want. I am not, just because I can't say half of these words. And I also don't know what most of them mean, really. So I haven't done any real research on Beatrix. And I also don't think it really matters. Yeah. So speaking of that, on to the polls of the week. On this poll, it says, because Foregen has hired scientists/doctors that experiment on neonatal tissues before/currently, what will you do? So the majority of people said they're going to ask Foregen to explain. Now, I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to have Foregen explain this. I mean, are they going to go to their quarterly meeting or their tri-annual meeting and ask them to explain why they hired scientists that have experimented on neonatal tissue before? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go ahead and get Foregen to explain anything, but that is what the majority of people said in this poll. One person, the other one is a bot, said that they're not going to donate or get the surgery, but they're also going to protest them. But that's not a very overwhelming amount. And one person, the other is a bot, said remain the same and not change anything. So he doesn't seem to care too much, but there are a lot of skeptical people that want to ask Foregen to explain. And hey, if they explain it, I'm super curious to know. Once again, guys, if you don't like how this turned out, please go to my Discord and go vote, because your vote matters. And on to the fundraisers of the week. All right, so this got no donations. Same thing with Joseph Ball, has no donations. Intact Global has $10 out of their $30,000 goal, so essentially no donations. Prevail over the system is bumped up to 62% from 61% last week. So once again, thank you donors so much for helping POTS out. I definitely do appreciate it. And remember, all your donations and tips do get matched. So thank you once again, guys. That is awesome. All right, and on to the Intactivist growth for the week. So last week we had 6,315 followers of Bloodstained Men, and this week we have 6,337 people following Bloodstained Men. That is an Intactivist growth of 22 people, or a 0.35% gain for the week for Intactivism, tacking on yet another gain for the week. That is awesome. Ending this news on a higher note. So, guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, questions, or concerns down below, and don't forget to hit that like button. Once again, thank you so much to all of my donors. Bye! A special shout out to our coffee supporters: